Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And welcome back, everybody. You can see and hear this podcast anywhere in the world. And let's go worldwide right now as we reach out to somebody who is in another country outside of the U.S. and where she's originally from on a humanitarian massive effort. And she's been doing this for quite some time. I'm referring to the woman that's behind a wonderful mental health organization in Massachusetts, New Beginnings. And she's our diamond of the decade. And she's going to tell you where she is at Sherri and Alexandrovich back on the program. Hello, how are you doing today?
I am just a little bit jet lagged, but I'm doing okay. Just we landed this morning, and so happy and so grateful to be here with my dear friend Sherri Darkoa, who is the founder and CEO of Blessed Nourishment here, and we are here to support the orphanage. And she's going to talk a little bit about what she does.
Wow! Even before we get there, I want to share with everybody. Yeah, you're in Ghana.
We're in Ghana, yes.
And for anybody that's slightly geographically challenged, where is that located?
It's located in West Africa. So,
gotcha.
Right at the little bottom right there, that's where Ghana is.
And this whole effort is to work with orphanages, maybe one in particular that Sherri Ann, you've been focused on. Before we get to what's going on there today, why don't we reset and tell us the things that you've done with some help from everybody at New Beginnings to almost give a new beginning to this orphanage. What have you done so far?
Yeah, so why don't you go ahead and talk about it?
Oh my gosh, okay. Hi, my name is Sherri Darkoa. I am the founder and CEO of Blessed Nourishment, like Miss Sherri said. We've been doing a lot. We've been doing a lot with the organization. We recently had our fundraising gala where we're able to raise a beautiful amount of money to be able to build new bathrooms for these children, because before these bathrooms that we're building, these children were taking showers outside in a little tent area made by the metals used for like roofs for houses. And they use that to like literally cover themselves to be able to shower, to have some sort of privacy. So when we went there in February to open up the dining hall that we built for them, we noticed that that was the next thing we wanted to tackle together. And with the help of Sherri and New Beginnings, we're able to come together to build the bathrooms for these kids. And hopefully by Friday, we're going to go open that up for the kids to start using.
So exciting. So exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we did a clothing drive over the summer.
Yes.
And so we were able to ship down all of the clothes from the clothing drive, yes, along with musical instruments
and some toys.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we have a lot of things going on that we're going to be able to do at the orphanage this week. So we're going to do the ribbon cutting for the bathrooms for the kids for Christmas, which was really
pass out some clothes to the kids as well, because most of the time the clothes that these kids have, they wear it about every single day. They wash it while they go into bed, air dry it, and then put it back on the very next day. So it's going to be so amazing to be able to bring all the clothes that we got. And we got a lot of clothes. It filled up at least one bedroom in my house. So we're able to bring up all the clothes and have the kids just try them on, wear this, see that there's so many people out there in America that thinks of them, that love them, and want to see them flourish.
So we have. Yep, go ahead.
I gotta tell you, I have that. The visual was really good about the bathroom situation, where the metal that's used on the roof of homes and buildings is now. I'm guessing maybe that's that corrugated metal potentially.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was, brought down as a divider or a privacy screen, if you will, for the bathrooms, which most important part here are out. This is all outside. That's what we're talking about here, right?
Mm-hmm. So there could
Wow.
be days where they would be taking a shower and it would be raining and they have literally nothing over their heads while they're taking the shower. And they just have to deal with it. And it's even sad when they don't have like pavement for floors outside. So it's just dust and mud. So usually when it would rain, it would just be muddy on the floor. So imagine taking a shower and then having to walk to your room to go get ready for school and you're just walking through mud. So what was the point in taking the shower at that point, you know?
Wow. Like really, seriously. Teresa, are you based in the United States?
Yes, I am. I'm based in Worcester, Massachusetts as well. And I usually come to Ghana at least twice a year to do a lot of the work with the orphanage, but also spend time with my family because this is where I was born and raised a bit.
What inspired you to want to really dig into blessed nourishment and then also work with Sherri Ann? Obviously you have family there, but
Yes.
what was the driving force for you to say, I got to step up and do something here?
Yeah, I actually love this question. I started Blessed Nourishment in October of 2020. And the main purpose of Blessed Nourishment was during that time, it was COVID. Anytime I would drive around to go anywhere, either the grocery store, to church, anywhere I had to go, I'll just see so many homeless people just walking by, no mask, no food, just struggling. And I knew a lot of them were going through a lot because it's COVID and a lot of people didn't want too many people at one space at a time. So they weren't able to help out the homeless population. So I just took the initiative to start food, almost like a food drive where I reached out to Panera Bread and they were able to donate bread at the end of their shift, and I used my own money to go to the grocery store to purchase ham, turkey, cheese, and a bunch of like chips, juice, and stuff like that, and water. And I ordered on Amazon some masks, hand sanitizers, gloves, hand wipes, hand sanitizer wipes, and I got those zipped bags, the
Ziploc baggies?
the drawstring bags. And I talked to my family, my parents about it, and I let them know this is what I wanted to do, and this is what has been placed on my heart to do, and I would really like their support. So I reached out to a few of my cousins, my siblings, and we just took one Friday. I went to Panera, picked up the bread, and we sat there for about an hour or two and packed up 120 lunch bags that had a sandwich, chips, and juice. And in the drawstring bags, packed a bunch of COVID essentials in there. And we went out in front of the YMCA at Worcester, Massachusetts on Main Street and passed out about 150 COVID prevention bags and 120 lunch bags. So that's how Blessed Nourishment started to support the homeless population out in Worcester, Massachusetts. And after
So let me just stop her.
oh
right
yeah, I'm
there,
sorry, because I
because-
could keep going.
No, because I think it's important to know how old she was.
Oh.
She's 26 right now, so we're talking about a 20-year-old girl
Yeah.
who started this. Okay, I think, but now go ahead. I'm so proud of you. Can you tell? Like, I just love you so much. Go ahead.
Wow.
Go ahead.
So after the second time we did the food, we passed out the lunches, which was in April of 2021. But for the second one, we passed out 150 lunches to homeless people, and we passed out 175 drawstring bags to the homeless. And even those that couldn't come to the specific place we had it, after we gave out as much as we could, my family and a few friends of mine drove around the city to pass it out to homeless people that would see. And after I was done with that, I felt like I had done well, but I wanted to do more. And I had noticed that things were getting a little better with COVID, and the government was able to support the homeless population at the time again. So I felt like I wanted to bring my resources and a little bit of what I can support with back to the country that I was born in and I was raised into. And I have a very soft spot for orphans and widows. And not because I'm an orphan or a widow, but at a very young age, while I was 2 years old and my baby brother was 8 months, my mom traveled to the US and we were bounced around to family members. Every single year we were with a new family member. So it almost felt like sometimes we were orphans and were just being passed around to people because we didn't have our parents there physically. So I've always had that soft spot for them. And I also always knew how orphans were kind of treated in Africa, and especially Ghana, where you would see a 3-year-old child walking around the street by themselves, no parent, no family member, and they'll just be standing on the streets begging for food and money, and it would just break my heart. So I found this orphanage through one of my dad's friend. He used to visit that orphanage every once in a while. So when he told me about it, I wanted to come visit. So the first time I came back to Ghana in 2021, I went to the orphanage and I had brought back a few things like groceries, like rice, oil, things that they could cook with. And ever since I set foot in that orphanage, I just fell in love with the kids. I fell in love with the energy there. Even though those kids had absolutely nothing, they welcomed me with such grace and such
Gratitude.
gratitude and love that I just felt like my spirit just belonged there. I needed to do everything I could to help support them. So from 2021 up until 2024, I was financially supporting the orphanage about 3 to 6 months. Every 3 to 6 months, I'll do my best to send something to the orphanage to support them. And that was coming from
While she's going to college for
Yes.
her master's in social work. So that's important to know. Okay.
My gosh. Teresa, I have to ask you, what does it feel like to you personally, knowing that you're doing something that's making a difference?
Ooh. There are times where I feel like I'm doing what I was meant to do in this world. I feel like I was brought into this world to serve, to help people, to heal people through love. And that's the main reason why I went to social work, because I always knew I was meant to heal people, but just not in the medical field. And I feel like the only way I could heal people was with how I show my love and with my words and actions. So knowing that I'm able to do that for this orphanage and the fact that they're grateful for what I do for them, it's very fulfilling, but it also pushes me to want to do more.
Sherri Ann, what inspired you to hop on the the orphanage train here and help out?
So Sharisa applied for a job at New Beginnings, and that's where I met her in 2024, in September of 2024. And during the interview, we just kind of talked about what our passions are, what our goals are. And she started talking about the orphanage and Blessed Nourishment. And
I started crying.
And she wasn't supposed to start until February when
Yes.
she got back from Ghana. And she called me that night and said she prayed on it and she'd made the decision she wanted to start right away. And so then we did the fundraiser. The first one I was part of was in November. Right?
Yes, that's when we had officially launched Blessed Nourishment, because this whole time it was kind of like a backdoor thing that I started to like kind of help out. But I knew I wanted Blessed Nourishment to be bigger so that I could help more kids. So in 2024, November, I officially launched Blessed Nourishment. And then I remember during the interview, I had asked Sherri that if I take this job, all I need from you is to be a guest speaker at my launch for Blessed Nourishment. And she did it. So that's when we connected the most. Like, we had already connected when we did the interview. It just felt, just from the first day I met her and I told her about Blessed Nourishment, she looked at me and she said, whether you take this job or not, in January, I want to make a donation to Blessed Nourishment for the orphanage. I went home and I was like, this is where I belong.
Wow. You both have contributed so much, have done amazing things so far. What's next? I know, Sherry, I know you. You're not stopping.
Steve, we were just talking about that. Our long-term plan is to start an orphanage of our own here.
Mhm.
That's what we would like to do.
Long-term goal is
Yeah.
to start an orphanage out here in Ghana.
Yeah.
But as time goes on, before we reach that final destination, we want to also help as many orphanages as we can. And the whole point of us supporting orphanages is to basically revamp the orphanages out here in Ghana so that it's livable for these children. We're not even asking for anything luxurious for them to be living in hotels and anything grand, but just something livable. Basic needs. Because if you see how these kids live, it is very heartbreaking and very sad.
And our next goal for this orphanage is we want to build bunk beds, which have to be done out of metal. Because the wood had to be destroyed due to bed bugs. And so if you've seen how many children per room sleeping on the floor, on the concrete floor, without beds, without any of that. So we kind of prioritized what we were doing. So there was the dining hall because the kids were eating outside under trees. If it's raining out, if there weren't great conditions, they didn't have anywhere to eat. So we launched the dining hall. And now we're doing the bathrooms, one for the male, one for the female bath houses. So each bath house has 2 showers, 2 toilets, 2 sinks. And then the goal is to expand and, the bedrooms, because there's not enough bedrooms for everybody, and build some bunk beds. And then we're also starting a music program.
Yes.
New uniforms we've done. And I feel like there was something else that we were, and then the New Beginnings is doing a scholarship.
We actually had our first scholarship. We actually gave our first scholarship this year. So we picked the 2 top students, one male, one female, and we gave them $1,000 each to go to high school, because in Ghana here, you get free education up until middle school, and then when you start high school, you start having to pay. So we decided to pay for the top 2 students to go to high school.
And that'll be a yearly
thing that we're going to be doing.
We do. Yep.
And I decided to name that scholarship the New Beginning Scholarship because it's only right.
Amazing. Sherri, and you've been there a number of times. What's the feeling? Do you feel that the people in that neighborhood, and not just because of your efforts, both of you, just overall, do you feel that there's a feeling of hope?
Gratitude and hope. I mean, when I came in February,
the dance,
oh my God. Yeah. So every school that we went to for the elementary schools, and even at the orphanage, they had, music and dances and signs, and Auntie Sherri. And for my birthday, I had already come home, and Teresa had gone to the different places, and they all videotaped singing happy birthday to Auntie Sherri. I'm like, I can't.
Don't do it.
The gratitude and the hope for these kids, it's indescribable. And I'll tell you, as much as we do, so Teresa's been here already for quite some time. We were kind of talking last week about what the plan is. And every time we start talking about it, I'm like, what else? What else? What else? What else? I would be broke if I could just give all of my money to the orphanages. And I have to keep myself in check. And I have a business in Worcester, Massachusetts with 48 employees that rely on me to make their payroll. So I cannot give it all to Africa. But if I could, I'll tell you, there is no greater feeling to see the smile on their faces, the gratitude for the most simple things, backpacks, school supplies, erasers, pencils, hot lunch. And it is just, it's an indescribable feeling.
Even giving them stoves and pots to cook in, because things were so bad for the orphanage where in the morning, whatever pot they cooked their breakfast in, whatever is left, they have to dump out to use that same bowl to cook for lunch, and the same thing for dinner.
Wow.
And that's if they get the money to buy the groceries for the lunch and dinner and all of that stuff. So whenever they don't have the money, and like whenever it's not time for me to send in the money or to support them, it's either they choose between one of the meals to not have, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So you could only imagine. And this kid's as young as 2, 3 years old over there.
See, many people sometimes are skeptical about making donations, other countries, charities, and such. But Teresa, your family lives there. You're there. Same thing with you, Sherri Ann. You're aware of it. You see it. You've seen the progress and the results. For anybody in any kind of a thought of helping charity, yeah, maybe even in another country, and maybe they're on the fence, what do you want them to know?
Oh my gosh, this is amazing because I was just talking to my fiance about this. And this is something that a lot of people questioned me on when I first started. Oh, are you sure you want to do this? You're not going to be there. Sometimes, these certain places, they take the food or they take the donations and keep it for themselves as the caretakers, and leave the kids with nothing and all of these things. And I always said to myself, if I was to take what people say and go by that, I would never be fulfilled in life. I don't consider myself a good person due to how someone handles the good I do for them. I'm doing the goodness from the bottom of my heart and just because I want to. So knowing that I have done my part and I know that God has seen that I have done what he sent me here to do, that's enough for me to live another day. So knowing that if I was to give it to you and you mismanaged it, when it comes to judgment day, when it comes to time for you to really assess yourself, that's something that you're going to have to take up on your cross and you have to take up on yourself to answer for, because I did my part. So I'm able to live another day knowing I did my part. Sherri did her part. So if we did our part and you chose to mismanage it, that's a burden and that's a curse that you have to handle on your own. So I try to not let what other people's behaviors or other people's mindset control the goodness that I want to do in this world.
And I think in addition to that, I think so, and that's the reason why New Beginnings is so adamant about supporting Blessed Nourishment, because New Beginnings, this is our 11th year that I've been open. And like I said, I have 48 employees and we're very, very well known in the community. I mean, we've been voted best behavioral health clinic for 8 years in a row. And so we have the credibility. So I'm backing Blessed Nourishment 3,000%. Not only just that, but the people at the orphanage. I mean, we get detailed reports of costs broken down of every brick, every single thing, and how they're building it, the check-ins. The accountability has been, for me, extremely reassuring to.
And even to let everyone also know, I'm not here majority of the time. I'm in the US, but that doesn't mean I don't have a team here. When the main person I was working with at the orphanage became very sick, he ended up having a stroke. So I wasn't able to really work with him directly to build the orphanage as I did with him for the dining hall. I didn't just want to just hand money to the next person that they put in charge to take care of the orphanage. I ended up sending my own team of mason, carpenters, electricians, all of that. I sent them from a different town to where the orphanage is to build it because I knew I could trust them. I knew that they would bring me receipts. They'll bring me evidence, everything,
videos,
every single thing they do, from the door they build, from the cement they buy, from the everything they purchase. They send me pictures and videos as proof that this is the update. This is what we've done in 2 days. This is what we've done in a week. So I also have a coordinator here in Ghana. So anything that has to do with scholarships, buying uniforms, buying certain items for the orphanage, I make sure she's on it. And whenever she purchases anything, she sends me the bank statement for Blessed Nourishment here. She sends me the receipt for everything that has been purchased. So I have video proof and physical proof of every single thing.
Well, we're just about out of time, but you know what this means? This means that we don't have an excuse not to help, because as when you said the word accountability, I was thinking it as you said it. I was like, there it is. If somebody is feeling it in their heart to help this orphanage, how can they contribute to help?
Great question. So we have our website, blessednourishment.com, and when you go on our website, we have our Cash App, we have our Venmo, and if you want to send in a check due to the fact that you're either a business or for your personal sake, you want to send in a check and you want a letter, receipt, anything from the organization as proof that you sent donations to us, that is also possible for us to do. We are a registered 501c3 company, so we're able to send in those letters and those receipts for anyone that donates to Blessed Nourishment. And yeah, so you can send in checks, whatever works for the person. We're able to work with them to get whatever we need for the kids.
And where is that again?
I'm sorry, and they can send the check to New Beginnings.
Yes.
And then they could just put mine, attention Sherri, as long as the check is written out to Blessed Nourishment, BLESSED Nourishment. And if they're not comfortable, because I have some people affiliated with New Beginnings that was like, I think I just want to mail a check. Absolutely. Mail it to New Beginnings at that address. I give it right to Sharisa. And so whatever people are comfortable with, like I said, New Beginnings is 1000% supporting and backing, and I can attest to the accountability of the funds.
Love it. Thank you both. You're like a powerful combination. The Sherri Sharisa team there.
Yes.
You guys have done an amazing job. The journey continues, and newbeginningswc.com if you want to connect with that organization. Again, ultimately write a check for Blessed Nourishment. Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you listening to everything that I had to say and for giving me a platform to talk about Blessed Nourishment and my passion.
Now, it's my pleasure, and also, thanks to Sherri Ann to get that done. Safe travels, both of you, and again, thanks for your help. We'll talk soon. Okay.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. I'll see you next week.
You got it. We'll be right back.
All right.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.